Alright guys, Razor 1000 XP, it's 2014. I think it's going to be the same for a lot of bikes. This little guy goes down in this hole and fits on that shaft, and then it's got this spring that goes on top of it, and then this cap that you guys seen I put a grease zerd in. So it's actually got a hole right in the middle for the grease to go through. Obviously it's going to go through the middle of the spring. See all the slop that's in this thing? It's probably many of you, I was one of them, that thought that my rack was just junk because of all this slop. Well, I took it out, it's full of dirt, cleaned it up, and put this thing back down in there, and I ran this nut even further down in there. Actually, I bottomed the nut out, and it took all that slop out of there, and now the steering is nice and tight on my bike again when I thought that I needed a new rack. Well, I guess if it's not physically broken, then this thing maybe is getting some wear and tear on it, and if anything, what I'm going to try and do when the time comes, because right now I got this cap bottomed out in mine. Now mine's good and tight, but I would assume it's going to get some wear and tear on it. I might see if I can maybe find a heavier duty spring, one that's a little bit longer, or maybe I can stretch this one out. It looks similar to maybe some kind of spring that you might find in some kind of brake system. So I might go to O'Reilly's or see if I can come up with something, or if anything, I might even just get me some kind of piece of brass hollow pipe that's the same diameter of that spring and cut it roughly the same size. Now that's not going to have any give to it, but it'll make up for the slack, you know, when the time comes if I don't have enough adjustment in there. So yeah, so there you go. I had to fish this out with a flathead screwdriver and 1364 drill bit. I center punched in there so I could hopefully drill it pretty close to the center, and I ran a 6mm by 0.01 tap into there, put that grease in there. It sticks out just enough for the grease gun to get a hold of it. That was a practice run. I'm now going to do it on the other. As you see, it works great. Much better. Should turn the wheel now. All right, guys. As you can see, everything's nice and greased in there. I ended up taking out that straight 6mm grease zerd and put what I believe is a 45 in there. Makes it a lot easier to grease it with it on the bike. I went for a weekend ride at Sabine Off-Road, and everything worked great. Probably put about 50 miles on it. The machine, after it was cleaned up and greased, this thing turned so easy that I could drive through the woods with one hand, which has never been the case on these 37.5-inch BK tractor tires. So also, this is stuff that you can do with this on the bike. You don't have to pull it off the bike. You can take that cap off with the rack right on there. It'll save you a bunch of effort. Also, I did notice that there is a clutch for a direct drive washing machine that has a spring in the kit that looks just like the spring that's inside of that rack and pinion. It looks like it's about the same size, maybe a little bit longer. So I think when the time comes and I get some play in there, I'll probably just upgrade a spring, or maybe take that and cut it down, make it a little bit smaller. And there's a lot of plastic in there, so I think there's a lot of room for, you know, more wear and tear. So keep it greased up. Other than that, you guys will see the videos that I've included in here when the rack had a bunch of slop in it, and you'll see the video when it was put back together and nice and tight. Like I said, I did ride it probably 50 miles over at Sabine Off Road. Haven't even washed the damn thing yet, and everything functioned great.